Howdy, y'all. How you doing? It's your boy Montana Cash coming back at you with the 6 technologies that'll keep you dancing till the cows come home. Now, welcome back to the Badlands, the dueling capital of the world. This next duel we got, I think it's gonna be special because can you smell the tension in the air right now? Oh,
Gonna be my sweet corn.
Hey, look, everybody! It's Virginia Spurs, the best yodeler this side of Hazelhurst. No, it's not that. It's not the corn. It's something else.
I got a stick of butter I'm gonna put in it. Could it be that?
Oh, now I do love me some butter, but no, it's not the butter.
I guess we'll just have to see. Corn?
Oh.
Hey kids, it's Mr. Paul. And before we get into that duel, I just wanted to ask you a question. Did you know that you make about 3,000 decisions every day? Some of them are easy, like what to have for breakfast, or what game should I play with my friends, or maybe even choosing pizza over having hot dogs for dinner. I mean, who doesn't like pizza? But sometimes those decisions are trickier. And today we want to learn about making the big choice to follow God. And to do that, we need to get into the Bible. In the book of Kings in the Bible, we learn about all kinds of rulers and kings. And the more you read through the book of Kings, the further people get from serving the one true God. In fact, today's story takes place during the reign of King Ahab, where he and his people and his prophets all served a false god named Baal. Now, this is a big problem because they were all making the wrong choice. In 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 21 through 40, we meet a person named Elijah. He is a prophet of God, and he has a challenge for all of the prophets of Baal. His challenge is this: let's see whose is the real God. We will prepare sacrifices, and then we will call out to our God, and whoever's God sends down fire to burn up the sacrifice, that will be the one true God. Now Elijah was confident because of how much he trusted God.
All right, now on one side of the pasture, we've got Elisha. Now, Elisha's a great guy, a man of great power and faith.
And great faith usually makes for good choices out here in the Badlands.
That's right, which you know is the most important part. Now, on the other side of the pasture, we got the prophets of Baal. These are some real bad guys. And if I'm seeing this correctly, it looks like the weapon of choice in this bout is a slice of pie. Man, I tell you what, you can see anything out here in the Badlands. But wait a second. Wait, they got him outnumbered. It's supposed to be mano-y-mano. That's a violation.
I don't think Elijah cares. It looks like he's welcoming the challenge.
Wow, we have never seen a bout like this in the Badlands. You know what we got to do?
Let the duel begin.
Pass me that butter.
In 1 Kings chapter 18, verse 26, we read, "So they prepared one of the bulls and placed it on the altar. Then they called on the name of Baal from morning until noontime, shouting, 'O Baal, answer us!' But there was no reply of any kind. Then they danced, hobbling around the altar they had made. So the prophets of Baal set up their altar and prayed to Baal all day, but nothing happened." It goes on to say in verse 27, about noontime, Elijah began mocking them. "You'll have to shout louder," he scoffed, "for surely he is a god. Perhaps he is daydreaming or is relieving himself, or maybe he is away on a trip or is asleep and needs to be wakened."
Oh man, that is just embarrassing. That is an embarrassing performance, I tell you. Don't these guys know that when you serve a false god, it's basically like serving a nothing god, which can lead to nothing good?
Apparently not.
I love that Elijah has a sense of humor. I mean, did you see where he even asked them if their god was using the bathroom? I mean, they were so ridiculous with all their dancing and shouting. It all came off rather desperate because there was no way that their false god could ever do what the one true God could do. The more they begged and pleaded, the more frantic they would become, and yet no fire. Nothing came down to burn up the offering. Now it's Elijah's turn. Elijah's turn to call on the one true God, our God. And in chapter 18, it says that Elijah, he chose 12 stones, each stone representing one of the 12 tribes of Israel. He built the altar, then he dug a trench around that altar for water. He placed the wood on the altar, then the bull offering for sacrifice, and then, just to make it even better, he asked them to dump water all over that sacrifice. Now, I don't know about you, but water's used to put out fire, and here he's dumping it over all the wood and the offering, which is going to make it even harder to light. In fact, in verse 34, it says, after they had done this, he said, do the same thing again. And when they were finished, he said, now do it a third time. So they did as he said, and the water ran around the altar and even filled the trench. Everything is now soaked, and Elijah, without any crazy dancing or shouting, calls out to God to prove to the prophets of Baal that he is the one true God. And in verse 38, we read, immediately the fire of the Lord flashed down from heaven and burned up the young bull, the wood, the stones, and the dust. It even licked up all the water in the trench. This is so amazing. Even after all the crazy shouting and ridiculous dancing from the prophets of Baal to some fake god, nothing happened. Yet, all Elijah had to do was make the decision to trust in God and call out his name. And bam! Fire from heaven. Say it with me. Fire from heaven. Yes, fire from heaven came down, burned up the soaking wet sacrifice, all the stones, the water in the trench, even the dust. That's incredible and only possible with God.
Get him, Elijah! Get him! Show him who the one true God is! Yeah!
Elijah made the big choice, the best choice, the most important choice, the choice to follow God. And this decision affected everything. When Elijah made this decision, God showed up and proved through him that there is only one true God. And choosing him is the best decision they could make.
Well, I'll be. It looks like Elijah came out of this thing unscathed in a 2-on-1. Woo!
Like I said in the beginning, great faith usually makes for good choices here in the Badlands, and Elijah, well, he had great faith.
Elijah's story teaches us a powerful lesson. He chose and made the big choice to follow God. In fact, it wasn't always easy, and sometimes people were making different choices. But when he relied on God, he was able to make the best choices. And like Elijah, we need to make the big choice to follow God. And when we make that choice, even though it's not always easy, and some people or things might pull us in different directions, God will honor and allow us to make the best decisions in every area of our life. In John 15:16, Jesus says, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last." So remember, just like Elijah had to make the big choice to follow God, even though it was tough, we need to make that choice every day too. And when we choose to follow God, it helps us make the best choices in a way that honors Him. Making the decision to follow God every day is the best choice you can make. Now, before we go, let's do the big idea together. Montana and Virginia, help me out.
Absolutely. Now, let's all do it together. Virginia?
Good choices start with the heart.
Take it away, Virginia.
Yole, yolo, yole, yolo, yole.